Today I want to talk about Mary. Imagine Mary. Mary is in love with her person, and oh my God, it was true love, and she wants to be with him. Unfortunately, she still had some programs, like was not in her self-love, which prompted her person, let's call him Pete, to distance himself. So Mary is absolutely obsessed with Pete. She is like thinking, oh my God, what is Pete doing? Why is he withdrawing? What is he doing online? She constantly goes online and checks, what the hell is Pete doing? Oh my God, did he meet someone else? Mary then learns about manifesting, and she sits down and she's visualizing or imagining being with him. She's affirming like crazy, oh my God, Pete loves me. Pete wants to be with me. Pete knows that I'm the one for him. Pete loves me. Pete loves me. Oh my God, Pete loves me. And nothing happens. She grows more and more desperate, and she is doing even more affirmations, and now she's doing different ones, and now she has like 10 different affirmations she's doing every day, and then she's taking time in the morning to do her affirmations, and then an hour in the evening, and then she's listening to more and more and more videos about manifesting because her manifestation is not coming. Pete is not there. And she's getting more obsessed and upset. Does that sound familiar to you? Because I know I have many clients like this. I would like to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Janine Nicole, and I have been working as a spiritual coach for over 20 years. For more information, you can check out the introduction video on my page. And of course, you can check out my social media. You will find contact information below, and I am available for coaching. But why is Pete withdrawing? Well, I want to explain it to you in a way, before I talk law of assumption lingo, I want to explain it to you in a way that I used to explain my clients before I knew the law of assumption, and I just understood energies. I always said, imagine you meet this person and you're connected, right? And you share 100% feminine and masculine energy. Feminine being the more emotional one, masculine more the rational one. And let's say you always balance each other out. So Mary then still has her old assumptions of rejection, for example. Fears come up. They may be in a subconscious mind, because consciously she may think, oh my God, this one is different. It's different with him. But still, the old stories are there, and they will come up eventually. And then someone who has more the anxious attachment style will manifest someone who has more the avoidant attachment style. So her anxiety is still within her. And now a higher part of her thinks, great, we are connected to Pete now. We like Pete. So he can trigger us. We can use Pete in order to grow. We can use Pete in order to make those limiting beliefs conscious. So Pete withdraws and Mary panics. So let's say they had 100% energy shared. She steps into the unhealed feminine energy. Feminine, of course, it is in quotation marks. We're talking energy, we're not talking gender, okay? It could be vice versa. It could be, would apply to homosexuals as well. So it's just energies. The unhealed feminine energy, that is the more anxious attachment style. The impatience come up, maybe the fear, maybe the anger of him withdrawing, maybe, the feeling of I don't have any control. So she is out of alignment. Let's say she's got like 70% of the feminine energy. He has to balance it out, and he steps out of alignment into 70% of the masculine energy, because there's only 30% feminine energy within him left. And, they have to balance it out, right? So he is in the unhealed masculine energy, which means oppressing things, not being ready, oppressing feelings, ghosting maybe, rejecting her, maybe even telling her, I don't want this. She notices that he withdraws, and she panics even more. She tries to close the gap by contacting him maybe, or if she's not doing anything in the 3D, she is still holding on to this obsession by constantly checking, when was he online, what is he doing, oh my God. Even if she's not checking, it's her mind, he hasn't called yet, oh my God, why is he not calling, where is he? He feels the pressure, and he withdraws even more. The more she steps into the fear of the energy of not having it, the more he steps into the energy of like, leave me alone please, I can feel that energy is overwhelming. But as soon as Mary learns, oh my God, all my focus was on him not being there, and I did not put my focus on myself. And that is the thing. Now let's talk about law of assumption. She put her entire focus on him instead of what is getting mirrored within her old fears, her old patterns, her assumptions about men, love, relationship in general, herself, and Pete. She now has to learn to focus more on her journey. So instead of manifesting like, oh my God, he's crazy about me, he's reaching out, he's calling me all the time. She only does that 20%. It's the 80-20 rule. And 80%, she works in her self-concept. I'm the person everybody loves. I'm the person who is always adored. I'm the person who can manifest anything I desire. I am the creator of my reality. It is so easy for me to manifest anything I desire. I am absolutely worthy to be loved the way I am. I am ready to be loved the way I am. And maybe she's even doing the revision of past stuff, doing the Ho'oponopono, because we want to work on the things that manifested Pete to run away in the first place, because it was her old assumptions. So we want to reprogram those assumptions, but if they're deep-rooted, I would advise to also clear those by actively doing something, like Ho'oponopono is said, or the tapping methods. You can research MET or EFT, for example. There's different like tapping methods where you tap those acupuncture points and release negative energies. So now Mary focuses on herself and she steps into her center. And what happens? She pulls Pete in because he has to balance her energy, right? So for him, all the stuff he oppressed now comes up and he is working through things. And of course, sometimes you step out of the center. That is okay. We're never always in the center. Maybe he steps out and pushes her out, and since she's worked on herself, there's no longer like the big fears coming up, but maybe impatience a little bit. He still hasn't reached out. Why? But then she remembers, wait, it is my assumptions. I just have to get into the state of the wish fulfilled, and she pulls him back in. This starts a bridge of incidents where Pete is also getting ready. We don't care about the how, we don't care what he is doing, because remember what actually happens if you shift to a timeline where he by himself is getting the energy. If this video already helped you and you learned something new, I would really appreciate to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, you know the drill, leave your comments, what have you learned, and make sure to share this video with other people that may benefit. Also, please make sure to check out my other channel, Janine Nicole Manifest with Music, because I found the easiest and most fun way to manifest any desire and to reprogram your mind in the fastest way by listening to songs that are generated specifically to reprogram your mind and to get you into the state of the wish fulfilled, because music is so powerful to do that. So I'd see you in my channel, Janine Nicole Manifest with Music. You can purchase, of course, your own song, or you can contact me for coaching. But now let's get back to the video. And also, I talked about it in other videos. Our beloveds are the 3D projection of our own inner divine feminine and masculine. So she's healing her feminine energy, but maybe also, she should also her masculine wound. That's what the revision is for, or the tapping, or the Ho'oponopono. Because Pete is mirroring her past beliefs about man and relationship. Maybe even father wounds or mother. Often when it's relationship, it's mother wounds. I know many people say, well, men are connected to the father, women to the mother. Yes, in a way. But also I figured out, doing this job for 20 years, that love-related stuff are more connected to our inner feminine, because usually mom is the first person we form this big love with, more than dad, because mom is the one who nurtures us, right? She's the one who breastfeeds us, so nurses us. Typically it's mom we bond more with. So mom is usually the primary caretaker. So if mom is not there that much, that is usually like causing bigger wounds than dad not being there. But of course, absent father can also then manifest in the image of men are not there for me, no matter if you're a woman or a man. If you're a man, then that is like your own inner shape, like you have problems being there maybe, or you had to be there, you had to be the man of the household. And that of course can also create an unhealthy attachment style. So Mary realized, I have to work on my things, gets into the middle. For most of the time, of course, we're not always there. It's not the goal to always be centered. It's not the goal to always be aligned. The goal is to, notice it faster and pull back in. And what I noticed with myself and many clients is that, we fall out less frequent and we get into the center faster. So when you're in the center, you pull the other person in because you have cleared your own inner negative assumptions, and the other person has to mirror that. So when you are obsessed with someone, they don't choose you because you show the universe, I'm not worth that someone is choosing me because I constantly focus on them. So how is that manifesting? Them focusing on them. Because you show the universe, or like your higher part, spirit, however you want to call it, they deserve all of the attention. They deserve all of the focus. I deserve none. then the manifestation is they are choosing themselves because they deserve all of the attention, right? They're mirroring that back to you. So now, of course, you want to step into the alignment of, I deserve attention. I'm worthy to be loved just the way I am. And if that becomes your new identity, now Mary's new identity, Pete will realize, oh my God, Mary, she's great. I like Mary. Man, she's actually the woman I want to grow old with. Why did I not notice? Mary, I always feel so comfortable with Mary because Mary is no longer pushing out the clingy energy. That is like, nobody likes to be around that. If you are too clingy, the other person will have to go because no one, even if you're not in contact, thought transmission, if you push out the energy, oh my God, you're not there, I want you, and I'm so mad at you for not being there. If they get that energy, why would they want to come back? Because that doesn't feel good, right? We don't want to go to where we don't feel good. We want to go where we feel harmony. So we have to create that harmony within ourselves. Then that will get transmissions to the other person. And then the other person thinks about you, and then there's harmony within them. And then they will crave that harmony that they have with you. Then the nice memories that they had with you may pop up, or they start seeing you like, oh my God, that would be so nice, and then they will come back. We are not talking about egoism, of course, but if you are too focused on the other person, they are going to be too focused on themselves or something else, not on you. You need to focus more on yourself. Again, the 80-20 rule. And then Mary can manifest Pete, and you can manifest whomever you like. If this helped you, please leave a comment. What did you learn? Also, make sure to check out my other channel, Janine, Nicole, Manifest with Music. If you need more help, you can reach out for personal coaching and check out my other content. I have so many videos, and I do see you there on personal coaching. Until then, I wish you all the best. Now, bye-bye.